Hey family, oh my goodness, it has been a minute, right? You remember back like a month ago when I said, yeah, next week I'll talk about this? Yeah, next week was about 5 weeks ago, so sorry about that. Things got like crazy busy. The schedule just picked up, and I was like, I'm never gonna get to post a video. Anyway, hey everybody, this is Doctor Yogi. If you are new to my channel, welcome. This channel is pretty much made to vlog, document my journey through medicine, specifically going from residency to my maternal child health fellowship and then onward. I just felt like there wasn't a lot of content out there about how to navigate this process, or even if these even if these mystical creatures called family practice OBs even existed, because I wasn't finding them anywhere. So I decided to make a YouTube channel. For everybody who knows me, hi, it's been so long, it's so good to see you. Anyway, this video is to talk about the application process for family medicine OB slash maternal child health fellowship. So if you are interested in seeing more about that, then stay tuned. All right, first things first, we have to talk about the timeline. Um, every program is different. Some people do rolling admissions, meaning as the applications come in, they start to fill their spots. And then other people do an entire interview season and then they offer their spots at the end. Kind of like how the match works, right? Everyone interviews and then you find out if you matched or not. A similar situation for fellowship. So that means that you can get notified as early as like, you know, October for some programs, and then most programs will give their final decision by the middle of December, though, if they're doing more of the let everybody know all at once situation. So what you want to do as far as the timeline, you want to try to submit your application as early as possible. I tried to shoot for like September, October, hence I know this video is a little late, so hopefully but at this time you've submitted, or if you haven't, you're getting that fire under your butt so you can get it done. So yeah, submit as early as possible. And before even doing all that, if you know who you want to write your letters of recommendation, then you want to reach out to them around this time as well. So more on that in a little bit. So the biggest thing you need to know is try to submit as early as possible. And, you can start submitting as early as, August, honestly, because my program opened up applications at the end of August, I think. So, yeah, try to get them in early. Next thing, for the application, let's just talk about components of that. So first things first, of course, you have to have your personal statement. Your personal statement should be about a page. If you want to go over to a page and maybe a quarter, that's fine. But just remember, they are reading quite a bit of these applications to try to figure out who they're going to offer interviews to. So you don't want to consume too much of their time. You want to make sure you're driving your points home as early as possible through the personal statement. So things to include in the personal statement. You want to include your interest, what piqued your interest in doing family practice with OB. You want to talk about like a specific scenario where you learned something, and then how that made you grow. And then thirdly, you want to talk about what you think you can do with maternal child health or family practice with OB fellowship. Whether that's, I want to do rural medicine and provide services to disenfranchised people, or something like that. Or I want to do global health and provide services to underserved areas internationally. Anything that you can show why this fellowship is important to you. Particularly in my personal statement, I talked about my limited exposure to see family practice with OB. I mean, there were people in my program, my attendings, but outside of that, I didn't know what it looked like outside of a residency. Did this exist? Is this a possibility to work outside of a residency? So I talked about that. Also talked about the naysayers. On the East Coast, you do have a lot of people who, the culture is just different. They don't really see family practice being able to do obstetrics, but particularly C-sections. So I kind of incorporated that into my personal statement, to say, you know, even though I know that the odds might be against me regarding people's understanding of FPOB, I'm still very interested in pursuing this. The next thing in your application are your letter of recommendation. I kind of alluded to this a little earlier. So for that, you want to make sure that you are reaching out to whoever you want to write your letters early. Like a month early if you can. I think I started asking people, yeah, probably about 3 weeks to 4 weeks ahead. I was like, hey, I'm trying to apply. Just keep it on your radar. I'm interested. I will send you the prompts or whatever they needed to write their letter, um, 2 weeks before the submission. So then I would reach out to them about 4 weeks in advance, and then I would send a reminder 2 weeks in advance to say, hey, how's it going? Just checking in. I'm submitting my application this week, hoping that your letter will soon follow, something like that. And you want to have your program director as one of your letter writers, someone who can attest to your clinical skills, whether that's like, for me, I was in a rural clinic, so I had my rural site director write a letter, and then, of course, somebody that can attest to your OB skills. So preferably like your FPOB within your program or an OB-GYN within your program that you're really close to that can write a strong letter about your surgical skills. I will say if you're someone that doesn't have a lot of experience within the OR, I was not, then you try to find ways to build that experience, whether that's take another elective and work on the L&D, and try to increase your exposures. Now, you don't have to be like a pioneer on all these C-sections, because sometimes the culture in an environment doesn't allow you that opportunity, which was the case at my residency. So don't be discouraged by that. You also have programs, particular or specific applications that you have to complete. So you just have to take your time. A lot of them are like questions that'll prompt you to write a little mini essay, and then like getting demographic information about you as well. So you'll have to complete those applications. Sometimes within those applications, they will ask for specific things. Some programs might ask for your USMLE scores. Some might ask for your ITE scores. Some ask for your med school and your undergrad transcripts. And then some may ask for this thing called like the National Database, something. I'll link it when I edit this. I'll put where it is. But it's pretty much this inquiry, the self-inquiry to say that you don't have any malpractice claims or bad, um, any litigation or anything like that out against you. Some programs will also ask for your malpractice insurance, like through your residency. So those are all things you should get together so that you can have available if that is asked to be provided on your application. Lastly, you want to include your licenses. So if you have any license, whether it's, and I'm talking about full license, not like your residency license. For instance, if you were someone who moonlighted and had to get a full license, you want to provide that. You also want to provide your procedure counts, like how many IUDs you've done, how many Nexplanons, how many C-sections have you been a part of, how many vaginal deliveries. All of that, you want to include all your procedures. Also include your family medicine procedures as well, because you will have a continuity clinic, a family medicine continuity clinic, and you want to be able to do, large joint injections or whatever you were doing in residency. You want those procedures to count. So put those in your procedure log as well. And lastly, you need to have your medical CV. So that is like a resume sized CV. A CV is supposed to be this long, breathable document that has all this information about you from the beginning, from the beginning of life as as a professional person. However, you don't want to give somebody like 3 pages, 4 pages of stuff. So you just want to narrow it down to the most important things, and your CV should be about a page, which is a lot of people call your resume. So just try to keep it concise. In your CV, you should include like your license, if you're board certified or board eligible, if you have any like special certifications like PAL, BLS, ACLS, NRP, also certified. Include all of those things in your CV, as well as things that can attest to your character, like the volunteer opportunities you do. If you speak a language, all of those things you can put in your CV, and it helps to allow the program to understand the kind of person you are. In summary, the things that I would recommend you have to prepare for fellowship would be your personal statement, your letters of recommendation, your CV, your licenses, your including like your certification, BLS, ALS, your med school and undergrad transcripts. Of course, the applications of each individual program, your procedure log, and finally, you should try to have everything ready to submit as soon as possible. So if you haven't submitted your fellowship applications yet, then I would advise you to jump on that train before the middle of November. All right, guys, so it was a really short video today, but I just kind of wanted to say, hey, I'm still alive, I'm still surviving. I will do an update video for you all, and then continue to give you more tidbits and advice about navigating this application process and preparing for fellowship. A lot of people have been asking me how I prepare, so I will make a video on that with tips and tricks. So you guys take care. Bye.